Welcome back to Global TV Talk Show. We're continuing this terrific series with Ron Cooper and Marty Cooper, the cooperculture.com. This is all about trust in the workplace as well. It could be anywhere, but trust, building it, enlarging the scope, and correcting things if there's a misread or misinterpretation, all within a workplace environment. Ron and Marty Cooper are literally experts at this. Here's Ron and Marty.
Ed, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you, your audience. The last session, we spoke on trust, exactly what that is, and just how to build, develop trust, and so forth. And we mentioned very quickly that it takes a while to build trust. It will take much longer, and in some cases, some instances, you'll never reestablish trust if you betray a person's trust and so forth. But when trust is a part of your trait, your character, it's what you do, it's a brand, so to speak. When trust is developed, people know, there's no doubt, they can trust you. We want to link that with respect. And Marty and I want to do what we can to help people develop that trust and respect. And when those two work together, and they are a natural part of our character, it's not just a plaque on the wall, but we're living it, we speak it, trust and respect, then confidence will largely follow. And
Let
Ed,
me jump in and ask you if disappointment, of course, it plays a role at first. That's the first, like, blanch, oh, I'm disappointed. And then the betrayal becomes front and center. Is that correct?
yes, I and Ed, all of those kind of emotions can happen. But Marty and I know, having worked through life experiences, that when the trust factor is embedded in us, okay, you have the comfort of saying that, well, yeah, I'm disappointed. And then we can talk about the details of whatever it is that caused that disappointment. And we can go through each of the factors, whatever it was that I did, said that caused the disappointment, and we can get it resolved right away. We will. And your trust in me, Marty, the culture is I trust that we can discuss this, and my reputation, and in this hypothetical situation, Ed, your reputation is not going to be tarnished or marred at all. That no, I trust that we can discuss this civilly, and we will reach an amicable solution. That's an aspect of trust.
I'm going to say, yes, that's all true, but it depends on the personality. It depends on the amount of uh, trust that was broken as to the disappointment and how long you try and handle that disappointment, but also the respect. And when trust is broken, it's hard sometimes for whatever the situation is to earn that trust and respect back.
Ed, I'm going to make a very personal statement here, and Marty and I are totally unscripted, but I'm going to make a very personal statement that is about the two of us. Your listeners, viewers may discern that I can speak with a very positive command voice kind of thing. I necessarily need to moderate myself when I come across with Marty, and it has happened on more than a few occasions.
Yeah.
That Marty has become emotional. Yet at that point, my world stops. And I mean that literally. When Marty gets emotional and she said, Ron, what you just said, the way you said it, makes me feel and then fill in the blanks with something negative. Makes me feel stupid, makes me feel inadequate, makes me feel second class, makes me feel substandard, subservient to. Ed, when Marty gets emotional, my world stops. Nothing else matters. At that point, I have to get that resolved. And I literally, I shut everything out at that point. And we will hug, we'll do whatever we need to do. And at that point, I need to listen. Just listen. Because I know at that point, I've reached that point of I made Marty feel totally inadequate. And if I continue with that and I indicate I don't care, that means I don't respect you.
Yeah, also when we take it into the workplace, I'm going to say the CEO says something to the assistant, and the assistant doesn't say anything, but just kind of holds it there for a while. And hopefully we'll try and work through it. But I would hope that the CEO would recognize the body language and everything that the assistant showed that, oops, I might have made a mistake.
Ed, I'll just say right there that we leaders need to be very aware. And I don't think it is being paranoid. I think it is just being appropriately aware of different facial expressions. Some people are not going to verbalize what they're feeling. But if we can pick up on and be perceptive of, I sense that maybe Ed, Marty, maybe did I say something that I could have done better or something that that's the kind of environment that I want to again, a psychologically safe environment offer you the opportunity to make a statement, make a comment. I don't want you to feel that you have to internalize and maybe I use the word frequently because I've done it myself, churn negative thoughts in my mind because I just don't feel comfortable I can even talk about this. I would hope that you do feel comfortable. You can address it with me, and I will take whatever time is required to work through these different things. But I want you to know, Ed. I want you to know, Marty. I respect you enough that I just sensed that maybe I did or said something that didn't sit well with you, and I just want to give the opportunity. And you may say, "Oh no, everything's fine." And I hope I can read through that and say, yes, okay, that was a genuine statement. Or, and it may be, yeah, I do want to talk to you about it, but now's not the best time. And I'll just wait.
So let's talk about in the workplace. Yeah, interpersonal breakdowns that could happen in a flash, could happen many times. And if the strength of the relationship isn't there, then it's doomed. So, but in the workplace, that's not as deep. It could be income threatening if you get fired, but and promotion and more favors from the boss, that could certainly hurt someone. So it's really fragile for sure, and that's what we're talking about, the fragile nature of communicating, doing something, and what you think how a person should act in a certain situation, and then that doesn't happen. Or if in the extreme, what that employee does is like, yuck, I don't want that in my place, and you come down on them. So you got to control emotions, right? And that can be really hard.
Well, it can. And Ed, emotions are largely personality driven. Marty is more emotionally driven than I am. That's a function of her personality. As I, as a leader, need to discern people's personalities. Um, there are those who, by personality, are people oriented, and then there are those by personality who are task oriented. Now, in a good balance, people and task will work together, but there's some who are task oriented, and that becomes their primary focus, sometimes to the exclusion of compassion for how that person might make another person feel. And so we need to be aware of people, how we communicate with everything and what you just said, relationships. It sometimes the mantra that people are our most important product, and in that context of people, I need to be able to adapt to and work well with people. And yes, we have a mission. We have the money flow. That we've got to be in financial balance and so forth. But Marty, what are you thinking?
I was thinking, if a CEO, or it could be reverse, the assistant, I'm just using this as an example, the reverse, the assistant does something and it causes this issue of trust and lack of respect. But realize what you did and take responsibility for your actions. I mean, I have had to do that in the workplace where the boss felt like I did the wrong thing and I owned up to it. So I think one thing to help employees realize, yes, the boss cares, or the boss knows that the assistant cares, they take responsibility for their actions.
So winning back trust, the rebuilding.
It is in some cases, Ed, we need to rebuild, and I think what Marty described is a momentary, but it's we're aware that okay. But I think again, in the context of a psychologically safe environment, we can discuss, we will discuss, and yes, an attribute we must have is we're accountable for what we do and say. And so, some of us feel that it's difficult to say, well, I am sorry, it's my fault. And so we just need to be very realistic in knowing that, okay, well, it's we can move beyond this, and I'm not overlooking it. It's just that okay, yeah, you felt this way, and so, but I believe it in a psychologically safe environment, one in which we respect each other, we can freely address these kind of statements. And so, yep, we're not wasting time with this. It's okay when a person feels the trust and respect are there, they're going to be confident that, yep, we will resolve anything at all that might keep us from performing at our peak potential. And, one aspect is, Marty, I'd like for you to do something. And Marty saying, wow, I'm not sure I can do this. It's incumbent on me to provide the training that she needs to have her confidence that she can do this. And so, again, we've talked about it before. I don't want to micromanage her, be over her shoulder, but I do want to I want to do everything I can to equip Marty to where she can develop the confidence. Yes, I can do this. Together, we will. Ed, all of that is about an environment, a culture to where we develop trust and respect, and that leads to a personal confidence.
So remote, but here we are remote, 3,000 miles apart, but right here in our faces using Zoom. But what's the difference? Is there a difference when you have remote employees as opposed to in person?
No, that's a very, very fair question, Ed. And if you and I were working together, I would ask you that, okay, Ed, you and I are, the fact that we're 3,000 miles apart, not a lot of difference between 10 miles versus 3,000 miles. The fact is, we're not working in the same office. And so I would ask you that, Ed, just tell me uh, what I can do to help you with the confidence and so forth, how much communication and so forth. I'm going to do everything I can to tailor myself to you. We're accountable to each other. If I'm your supervisor, I owe you information that you know you need to function. And I want to communicate at an interval to where we feel, yes, we're communicating at the right frequency and at the right times. And so, Ed, I'm adapting to you. And even though we are geographically separated, I want you to know that I am right there with you, not geographically, but let's just say, in terms of our relationship, you know that you can call me at or communicate with me at any time. You may not get an immediate response unless maybe you put some kind of a signal that, hey, I gotta talk to you right now. But in the context of trust, you know that hey, I know exactly how. Hopefully, within minutes, you can get my attention because you know exactly how to do that. But I've communicated that with you. So kind of a long answer, Ed, but I think that the fact that we are geographically separated, or at least by any distance, not in the same office, I would want you to feel that, nope, we know exactly how we can each operate to where we each know the mission that we're after, and we know the timing, and there's no doubt.
Marty?
I agree, but also I think through Zoom or we talk with our eyes, and if something is bothering the person, I think you should be aware that I know that person well enough that I think something, and even if their personality kind of changes, there would be something that the boss and or the two people should talk about.
And I'll add to that that of the multiple ways we have to communicate, Zoom, that's real time. Telephone is real time. Um, what is it? FaceTime, that can be real time. Whatever we feel, whatever we know to be the best way to communicate. In some cases, text, voiceless, faceless is fine. But it's a matter of knowing, adapting to each other, and what's the best way to communicate our intent. We know how to move forward. And so, of the multiple ways that we can do that, I think it's a way, or it's up to us to determine what is best. I would say, generally speaking, Ed, I will communicate with you and others in the same manner in which you communicated with me. In other words, text, I'll respond by text, and so forth.
Okay, so what about just walking? Let's say we go for a walk together uh, to clear the air, so to speak.
Yep.
And go for a walk like down Harbor Island here, like this beautiful picture. So, by the way, this is a nuclear carrier, of course, that's stationed here. There's 3 of them here in the harbor. And one of them just sailed out towards the Far East 2 days ago. And this is coming out from its dock into the broader bay where there's lots of sailboats. It looks like that carrier is right on the back of that little sailboat in the background, but it's actually probably half a mile away from it. It just it's crazy optics here, but it was quite impressive seeing it move quickly, escorted by a couple of tugboats and helicopters flying over. It's really dramatic. and exciting to see, but you know where that's going right now. So wish them well. So the trust, let's talk about trust in the military sense. There's a command structure. So, I mean, people, underlings, I don't know what else to call them, but the recipient of orders, um, they will do it. Like, they know that there's going to be consequences if they don't do something, right? But in the workplace, there's also consequences, and that's what this show is all about.
Well, Ed, yeah, yes, you're exactly right. You had mentioned, okay, let's walking someplace to discuss something. Let me talk I'll just address in a broader term. If I am a hierarchical type person, in other words, I outrank you, or my position is, and if I talk down to you, and I am not necessarily denigrating, but let's just say that I make it very clear to you that because of what I said, I'm expecting results. That I'm talking in a condescending way. I may get results, but they're probably going to be short-term, short-lived results. That you'll do whatever it takes to not be fired or whatever to avoid consequences. I would hope you don't respond to what I say to avoid doing something, but rather you want to promote the overall mission. And so it is a matter, Ed, of me addressing to you in a hopeful, helpful way. Now, if something comes across wrong, what's the best environment to discuss that? And I want to be in the right attitude. I hope that I can select a time or at least communicate with you. Ed, tell me what the best way is to work through this. And I may suggest, well, how about if we just walk down to Harbor? And you may or may not agree with that. And I'm not going to dictate where or how. I would hope to find a way that is best for you. And then the timing, the environment, and my attitude, everything, I hope to be right, that we can discuss whatever is right with the overall objective, that mission first, and that's military terms, but we have an objective to accomplish. I want to do what I can to help you align yourself, ourselves, with the mission. That is the objective. And so, what might I do to help clear the air to help you help our relationship so that we together can accomplish the mission better? That's ultimately what I'm hoping. And I don't know that I've addressed your question exactly right, Ed, but for different personalities, the timing, I would hope that we can have the best environment to achieve the greater good.
Actually, you hit it uh, right on. That's exactly what I was thinking about. The boss, the manager, the leader, telling the underling the mission is the purpose here. What you did, I don't think is going to help that mission grow or be achieved. So therefore, I'm coming at the situation from that point of view rather than a personal attack. It's about correcting an approach that I saw you take. I don't think it's going to help the mission.
And Ed, as people look at our website, thecooperculture.com, one of the very first statements you'll see is mission-centric culture. So we are about the mission, never to the exclusion of people. It takes people to accomplish a mission, but the two have got to work together. What is the mission? And then my objective as a good leader is to equip you to help accomplish the mission. But that's what it's all about, Ed.
So the structure here is not a negotiation. It's a command situation, right?
Well, and okay, let me just say that we have a standard we need to meet, and we don't want to lower the standard. No, we want to each of us uh, elevate ourselves, advance ourselves to reach the standard. And so, what do we need to do to reach the standard? Those whom we serve deserve to be led well, not by lowering the standards to accomplish less.
So it's a recom. So the
Okay.
setting, the screenplay, if you will, that's what I'm thinking about. Is how do you communicate what needs to be done here in this situation?
Um, do you, Ron has, for me, has a personal story he could tell you when General Flynn, you were at the Pentagon and how General Flynn responded to you and helped you, through that time.
No, thank you for that story,
I
Marty.
just want to make sure that's okay with you, Ed.
Absolutely, yeah. This is exciting.
I was a captain in the U.S. Air Force at the time, um, on what the Air Force called ASTRA, ASTRA, Air Staff Training Assignment, and it was a highly selective position. And I was in his office. As it turns out, he was a POW in the Vietnam War for a period of time. He had been promoted to a 3-star, and I'm talking with him, and he said, "Ron, I just want to tell you that I don't think you thought through this very well, the situation. And I want to tell you, Captain, in the presence of a 3-star, just the two of us, he quote tore me apart. Let's say no, a better term is dissected me. Well, what did I not think about very well? He worked with me, Ed. In this conversation may have been 30, 40 minutes where he dissected me and we discussed how I thought about how I reached a decision. What was my thought process? As it turns out, I did not think about everything that I should have thought about to reach the decision I did. At the end of the conversation, he did not leave me, quote, dissected and a lesser person. No, he reassembled me, so to speak, emotionally. I left that conversation thinking I am better as a result of this conversation than when I started it. I had no idea what the conversation would be, but we were there for different reasons. And Ed, in that instance, he made me a better person. I can think better because of it. And so, um, any had it been a different situation, different person, could have been that, well, you didn't do very well at all, Ron. I mean, why didn't you? And so it was not in any form or fashion a demeaning conversation, but rather he helped me think through, and I left that again thinking I'm a better person because he thought, and thank you, Marty. Yeah, as soon as you told me about it, I can remember virtually every detail of that conversation, which occurred in 1973, I believe, which as at the time of this recording would have been, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, 53 years ago. But Ed, I can remember exactly where I was sitting in the office in the room, and I can remember the total context of everything that was discussed because it was a very positively meaningful conversation. But those are the kind of environments, that's the kind of setting we want to have with people, to be very constructive in a positive way, that you leave the person believing that this person believes in me. Lieutenant General Jack Flynn, I know, believed in me, and he made me a better person as a result of that conversation.
So, as a POW, and of course I wasn't one, you get a lot of time for thinking.
He did. And
you
I'll
think
tell
through
you, Ed,
things.
that trying to project myself as a POW, you didn't know when you would be released, if you would. And there were times of isolation, but in the adversary would try to get into your mindset to try to divulge, cause you to divulge things that might be counter to your country. And Lieutenant General Flynn and many of other POWs would say there is no possible way you will do anything to cause me to undermine my country. And that is the mindset he had. And I applaud him for that. And that's the mindset many of us who have served in the military have.
Thank you for that story. That is,
And Ed, I will tell you that
really meaningful.
In the context of mission, that's okay. What is for us to think? What is the greater mission that we're here for? And I would hope that we as leaders can instill that in those in our family, those in the workplace. The greater mission is, and my objective is to equip you to accomplish that greater mission.
And that the military corollary here, the way of thinking, is right on, because there is a mission in business. Sales mission or customer service issue is a mission, or if let's just say the salesperson say I'm a salesperson, so I misspoke, or you wouldn't have done it that way. So by you resurrecting the scene and how you would have done that from your vision, I did not perform, that kind of a conversation would be very educational for me.
Well, and Ed, what I like to do is tell people, okay, my decision on whatever it is. Now, what I want to do is tell you how I worked through what I worked through to reach that decision. And it is a definite process I worked through. It is a matter of garnering what I consider to be all of the pertinent facts and factors. I assessed each one of those and I reached this decision. And that's the process by which I made this decision. Should the facts or factors change, I'm very willing to change my decision. But I want you to know the process I went through, because I want you to have a very methodical thought process, not just flip a coin and take whatever happens. But I want to do everything I can to help you develop a very methodical, critical thinking type approach to whatever decisions you make. But it's incumbent on me to tell you what my thought process was. You don't have to adopt what I just said, but I'm going to give you what I believe to be the benefit of knowing the thought process I went through.
Yeah, thank you. Marty, do you want to comment on this?
No, that's fine. He's doing a great job.
Well, but again, Ed, it's a matter of us working well together. And Marty and I have been married 57 years as of September 7th of 2026. And I'm just saying that as that's a factor. And we've been through many different things I have learned from. But again, if I have made Marty or anyone feel a lesser person because of something, I just never want anyone to feel that they are a lesser person because of something I did or said. And I know very well the tone of my speaking, the manner in which I say things can make people feel I may be talking in a condescending way. And yes, I have responsibilities, but I don't want you to think in any form or fashion because of whatever position I have that you're a lesser person. You're not at all. It is incumbent on me as a leader to understand you and help advance you to wherever you want to be. That's everything of what I'm about, Ed.
Thank you very much for your time here today and for storytelling. I think it was a great program today. Marty, how would you describe this? What color would you put on this conversation? Would it be yellow or blue or gray or and what would that color mean to you?
Well, my favorite color is blue.
Blue.
And
Yeah.
blue, I just feel like
Like the
blue is,
blue of the water,
yeah,
the blue of the
yes,
sky.
yes, I
That's
I
light
love
and that's
that.
dark. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, yes. And so blue is relaxing for me. So that's what I would put the color of this conversation on blue, because we went through what you can do, what you need to do, and the results of working with people.
Great. thecooperculture.com. Go.
Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. And as we would have the opportunity to work with companies to develop the culture that some of your listeners who might say, we're not quite there with this type culture, and you might be experiencing higher turnover than what you would like. And people stay with or leave organizations because of people and its culture, quite honestly. And leaders that have a great culture that exude the fact that they care about other people. And so, one of the aspects of culture is that I, as a leader within a company, I never want you to think that I would intrude in your home environment, but I know that whatever's happening at home, if it's not good and healthy, will eventually make its way into the company. And so, as a good leader, I want to let you know that I'm willing to work with you at home, because I know that continuum between home and work. You're never going to leave your home situation at the front door of the office. That'll never happen. And so, no intent to intrude on anyone's life, but I want you to know that I care enough that I'll take whatever time is good to work with any home issue you may have, because I know that ultimately that's going to result in longevity. So, Ed, that's a lot of what we're about for culture.
I think that is an excellent way to end this program today. And it describes the Cooper culture for sure, but it describes you as a guy. And your potential customers who are out there in the audience uh, would strive to find out who you are and that cultural aspect. So more than 60% of, according to LinkedIn, they watch what I do and measure and then let me know. So more than 60% of the viewers of whatever programs I put out there across the network during the past month or so, since about Christmas time, were C-suite, senior level, according to them, within companies having more than 1,000 people. Most of the audience is within the US, but during January, the number one viewing area was Mexico City.
Wow.
Now that is unusual. I have been working on Latin America programs with people based in Brazil and Mexico, and occasionally Costa Rica and Panama. But that was a surprise. The Northeast, Eastern North America, meaning Toronto, Boston, New York to Washington, Atlanta, Miami, that's been the number one market, with London Metro and Dublin connected as the number two source of audience. Within that, 60% being senior level C-suite or senior level management in companies having more than 1,000. The research went a little bit deeper at the same consequential level of companies having more than 10,000 employees. That was a lower number, a lower percentage, in the 30s. At one time, they said it was 37%. Another time, it was like 31%. So it gives you an idea of who's out there. It's mainly LinkedIn, but through the LinkedIn, it connects with X and Facebook and other things. I want you to know who is going to look at this.
Sure.
Now, I don't have the exact person's name, but I know who the members are of these LinkedIn groups. And that's the bridge.
That's all good. Well, to your credit, Ed, you've developed a good listening audience.
Yeah, and it's a challenge to make it grow. And it takes money, but more than that, it just takes perseverance, because not every day is positive or
Right.
successful, whatever that means. So I've decided in January, now February, to reach out to executives at whatever senior level I could find, by going through the viewers and people who remark or like something. Most people don't write anything, they just put a like if they want to, and then getting back to them, say, I just sent a little note back through LinkedIn, private note saying thanks, and then I attach a copy of what I'll do with this video, for instance, or the last one, and then a couple of other videos that I think are outstanding in terms of equal level guests, like, for instance, the product owner of AI for this big company called ADP, Automated Data Processing. She was my exclusive interview this past summer, and it's just was great TV. And that has been getting the most eyeballs during the past month in this pursuit of sending these shows out. And I'll do that with this one and the previous show also in a package. I just don't send one show. I send a variety, because you never know who's going to really look at this. So some people will like this. Other people would like to hear a softer approach. Who knows? It's it's a guessing game. So that's today's show. Thank you for participating.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Take care. Bye-bye. See you next
Have a
week.
good day.